Lesson 6.11, Radian trig equations, level 3 again. This time we're going to open up to where the domain is also a positive number. Before we had these always being 0. So basically what we're saying is we're not only going counterclockwise, but we're going clockwise, which makes negative angles. It also means that on a graph, say I'm doing sine again, and it would keep going, it also keeps going this way into the negative x's. So we're trying to go this direction and this direction, whatever the restriction is. Okay, so number one, I want to isolate my sine of pi over 6 times x. We should be doing this in one step. I would be subtracting the square root of 3 divided by 2. So I'm trying to figure out where is sine negative square roots of 3 over 2. I know that happens in my 60s, and then those are going to be negative down here in quadrants 3 and 4, so that would be at 4 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. So again, these are the two angles from 0 to 2 pi, but again, this has changed, so we're going to have to try more of them. Set it equal to pi over 6 times x, and then to solve them, we'll multiply by the reciprocal, 6 over pi. Pi's are going to cross cancel. 3 and 6 can divide out of 3, so I get really just 8. 8, though, is not less than or equal to 6, so that one doesn't work. That one's out. Let's try this one. So if I have 5 pi over 3, and I already know now that I'm setting it equal to pi over 6 times x, so I'm multiplying by 6 over pi to solve. That would be a 1 and that would be a 2. 5 times 2 is 10. That's too big. So you might think, oh, I'm done. But no, we got to go the other way. So go back to your angle of 4 pi over 3. We're going to subtract or go back to pi, which this will have to get times 3 times 3, so really it's going to be 6 pi over 3. 4 minus 6 is negative 2 pi over 3. That's the angle. So that's not an answer, that's the angle. Now we're setting it equal to pi over 6 times x, or I'm really going to multiply by 6 over pi, which I like because my pi's cancel and my 6's, so really that's negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. That's what x would need to be. And that is greater than or equal to negative 6. So that is one answer. Now, let's take our other angle we found on the unit circle of 5 pi over 3. Sorry, my work's all over the place. I'm going to subtract 2 pi, which I know is the same as 6 pi over 3. 5 minus 6 would be negative 1, or negative pi over 3. I know to solve, I'm taking it times 6 over pi. Pi's cancel, 3's cancel out, so that'd be negative 2. I did something wrong. Negative pi over 3. What did I do? Oh, I see what I did. So I subtracted wrong. This would be thirds. I'm sorry, so that would be a 1. You probably already noticed, and that would be a 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Let's cross that out. And negative 4 does fall in this range. And so this one would get negative 2, which also works. Okay, the only thing you would maybe want to check is to do it one more time. And usually what's weird is when you're going backwards, actually the second one gets smaller. So let's see. If I took, what was our last angle we found? This negative 2 pi over 3. This was the angle when I subtracted 2 pi from the 4 pi over 3. If I subtracted 6 pi over 3, so another 2 pi, that would get negative 8 pi over 3. That's my angle, and then I would have to take it times 6 pi. 6 over pi, sorry. 1 2, that would be negative 16. Ooh, way too much. So these two should be my only answers. All right, number 2. I want to isolate the cotangent part. We're going to add the 1 over. So cotangent of a third x is equal 1. Switch this to make it tangent. Reciprocal 1 is still 1. So where is tangent? Positive 1. That is our 45. So that would be pi over 4. And in quadrant 3 would be 5 pi over 4. Okay, and then to solve, I'm setting n equal to 1/3 times x, so every time I'm going to be multiplying by 3. That would be 3 pi over 4 as an answer, and that 3/4 is not even a whole pi, so that would fall in and work. Okay, this one, since I just know I'm going to be multiplying by 3 to solve, I'll get 15 pi over 4. 15/4 is really close to 16/4, which is 4. So I'm almost 4. That's going to be over the 3 pi. So that one's out. So let's go back to this one. We can try adding pi over 4, adding 2 pi, which would be 8 pi over 4, because 8 divided by 4 makes 2. That would be 9 pi over 4. I know that I'm solving by taking times 3, so that would equal 27 pi over 4, which is almost 28 divided by 4. That's like 7 pi, way too big. So now, let's go backwards. Let's take our pi over 4 minus 2 pi, which is 8 pi over 4. 1 minus 8 is negative 7 pi over 4 times 3. Be negative 21 pi over 4, which would be 20 divided by 4 would be 5. So that one's out. And then I've got, this is where you need to really try the second one, because it gets smaller. So if you think, oh, I can stop, no, I need to try the second one. So we would take 5 pi over 4 angle minus our 2 pi. That would be negative 3 pi over 4 times 3 would be negative 9 pi over 4, which 8/4 would be 2. So yeah, this is a little more, it's like negative 2 1/4, which fits. So our answers would only be this one and this one. And then number 3, we're going to divide by square root of 2. So cosecant of a third times something needs to be negative 2 over square root of 2. Change this into sign. And then switch this to be negative square root of 2 over 2. And then where is sine this? That would be at our 45s. And so that would be down here at 5 pi over 4 and here at 7 pi over 4. And then we're setting n equal to a third times x, so again we're just multiplying by 3. So we'd get 15 pi over 4 times 3. That would get 21 pi over 4. And so I need to know what these are as a decimal so I can compare them to 11. Okay, so that is 11 point something. So that is too big. So I'm sure then this one's too big because you're taking it times 21 divided by 4. Yep. So we can't go forward. Let's try to go backwards. So I'm going to take my angle of 5 pi over 4 minus 2 pi, which would be 8/4. That would be negative 3 pi over 4. That's my angle. I keep marking the wrong number. And then we're going to times by 3, which would be negative 9 pi over 4. Figure out what that decimal is. Negative 7 point something. That is bigger than negative 11, so that one's good. All right, let's take our second angle on the unit circle of 7 pi over 4. We're going to subtract 2 pi. that would be negative pi over 4 times 3 would be negative 3 pi over 4, which is only negative 2 point something. So that one works as well. So those would be your two answers.